Alrighty, so today, market theory won again. So we're gonna kind of do the last session was market theory, kind of an overview. I kind of went into like I kind of generalized the whole thing and oversimplified it, which is the best way to do it. But I'm gonna kind of enhance it today. So I'm gonna go a little deeper into market theory. It's very simple, it's very basic. I already went over the whole thing technically, but you already know how we do in RDA. So here it is. Once my computer figures out how to operate, I'm going to get you guys on this whiteboard. And this is how I'm going to do it. There we go. You guys got the whiteboard?
Yes, sir.
All right, so I'm going to stick to the buyer side. I know I kind of did on the last session, but I'm going to stick to the buyer side for this one as well, but kind of just get a little more detailed. So we already know the let me put it this way. There is a game. There's a game, kind of like chess. Chess is played on a board. Chess has two sides or two players. In traditional chess pieces, they have the black and white pieces. In boxing, they have the red and blue corner. You see what I'm saying? There's always a game, there's always a board or a kind of a place where this game is played with these two players. And when they're playing, right? What's playing in this case?
Participating.
It's the activity that those players are participating in. They're playing. Playing what? The game. You see what I'm saying? So the game is played on a field. So we have soccer. That's the game. The board would be the field. The players would be, I don't know, like Madrid and Barcelona. What are they doing? Playing soccer. That's the activity you see in that environment. You guys see?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's, if I remember correctly, pretty
Yeah,
much how it
that's good
goes.
too.
All right, so the players, like they have one side over here, they have another side over here, and there's this game, the ball is moving this side to this side, and the players have a clear objective to make it into the goal, right? Now there's boundaries too. If you go out of bounds, if you go outside of these borders, you're outside of the realm of the game. And I'm trying to get you guys to think of this a certain way. I'm trying to install a software, if you would, into your brain. With this software, your brain is going to operate a certain way. With this software, your eyes are going to see the data a certain way. You're going to see it for the game that you should be seeing it for, instead of seeing it for a bunch of gimmicks and stuff like that. You're going to see it for the game. And when you see it for the game that it is, you actually see which player you are. And then you see the opponent, and then you start actually playing instead of being played. All right. To play in the game, you got to know that you're in the game. Some people don't even know that they're in the game. They're just torn up. They're just chasing little shapes and patterns and all this stuff. Like it doesn't actually say anything about what the market is and how it works. They're being gamed. They're not up on game. They are the game that we hunt for. Hey, there's so much ways to play this thing. Come on, man. Look. All right, I'm sorry. I get hyper in the morning, so I'm gonna try to chill out.
Nah, let's go.
The game, now that I got this game, I hope you guys see that I'm droning right now. That's what that's called. Game, 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 game. I'm brainwashing you. Literally, I'm a drone. Game. Why am I doing that? I'm trying to get your mind to see the game. All right, what's the game? Forex, foreign exchange. This is the currency exchange market. This is trading. This is the game of trade. You're there, I'm here. We can trade. You and me can trade. Right now, I'm trading with you. You're trading your attention right now, and I'm trading my energy. Your attention, my energy. We're trading right now. We're making an exchange. I hold your attention, you take my energy. Does that make sense? It's a different game we're playing, but we're playing whether you know it or not. Different game now. Forex, foreign exchange, the trading world. Two players, buyers and sellers. What's the field? It's a digital marketplace. That's what the charts are. When you go to the field of the charts, you see all this data movement. That's the game. It's the history. It's the recording. It's the replay. It's the highlights of the game that was being played between buyers and sellers. They're trading. What's the activity? They're trading. So what do you see on the screen, guys? Let's see if you guys get it. What is all of this?
The activity between two players.
That's it. It's trading activity. So this is what's called a data feed. And it feeds you data. What kind of data? Data on this. What's going on? And if you can read it, that's when you're like, oh, this is what the data feed is saying. If you can't, that's when you make things up like, oh, this is my shoulder and my head here. This is the body part pattern. This is the animal pattern. This is the alphabet pattern. This is the gimmick pattern. You see, like none of that stuff has to do with why markets work and how they print and where they go to. All right, I need a pause. Comments, I'm going to just open the floor. Go ahead, guys. You know my spiel.
I know you kind of just went through this, but I just want to make sure that I'm correlating this correctly. So, the game that's being played, we'd say is trading, right? The board, we would say, would be the charts in which we engage in every single day.
Yeah, it's like the digital marketplace.
Oh, digital marketplace. That's what it is.
It's kind of like, it's like Amazon. It's like Instagram. It's like MT4. Those are digital marketplaces to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the players are the buyers and sellers, of course. And the playing is basically the trading activity.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
All right. Just want to make sure I got that down.
Perfect. Does anybody have any questions on the game, the board, the players, the activity, any of this? Like the perception that you're trying to acquire here? This concept, what I'm trying to do is I'm building you guys, I'm framing new glasses. And hopefully, if you choose to, because I can't make you, I'm just presenting you these glasses. I'm like, look at these glasses. This is how these glasses see. When you put them on, they see this. They understand this. So when you put these glasses on in the eyes of your mind, you should see this a certain way. And that's what I'm trying to do. Right now, I'm not even trying to teach you about this, because if you're not seeing it the way that I'm trying to show you, whatever I tell you, you can't even see it anyways. So that's why I'm trying to install the program in your mind so that you're able to understand what I'm saying. It's kind of like a translation program. I'm uploading like Hooked on Phonics. I don't know, Rosetta Stone, but for trading activity. Shout outs. I hope they pay me 10K or something. But you see what I'm saying? Like, do you guys understand the Naj, you know what I'm trying to do here? What am I trying to do?
From my perspective, get us to see it as simple as it possibly is, and to know what type of world we're engaging in, instead of making it into something that it's not.
Right. And what happens?
The game we're playing.
What happened?
Trying to show us the game that we're playing, that we're in.
Yeah, because if you see it the right way, you play with it the right way. When you see it the wrong way, you mess with it the wrong way, and you mess yourself up. You see what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Same thing with the car. If you don't see the car the right way, you can mess yourself up and mess other people up. But if you see it the right way, you can actually carry people from point A to point B, or yourself, whatever. It doesn't matter. So I'm trying to get y'all this main thing with market theory. It's like the mindset or the perspective that you have to approach these charts with in order to see them clearly, and in order to see the true opportunities that are spread all over this thing. You're going to have to detach your mind from playing other people's game and play the game that's already in front of you. Notice I'm not making you guys play a strategy or something. I'm actually trying to remove all strategies out of your mind. I'm trying to put you in the field, the actual field. Because right now, a lot of people, they play in the field of their minds with all these made up boards and these made up games in their brain. And when they look at the chart, they're playing those made up games instead of dealing with the actual reality that they're sitting in front of. Does that make sense?
Yes.
I
Okay.
feel it's like when you say somebody's trying to play, chess, but they're playing it with a checkers mindset, or they're trying to play basketball, but they're using soccer rules. Until
Yes.
you know exactly how to engage in the game, you're bound to, lose.
Dang, that was so. Thanks, Naj. I really appreciate that because it really showed it to me. Because if I were to play basketball with soccer rules, I'd be getting called for kickball like left and right. Because basketball is played with your hands, soccer is played with your feet. So if I played the game of basketball, but with the mind of soccer, do you see how I would actually take what everybody's dribbling with their hands and I would start kicking it? And I would look crazy because I'm actually operating off of faulty information. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. I think it all stems down to uh understanding and awareness. I think you got to be aware, of course, of what you're doing, where you're at, or whatever the case may be, the circumstances,
Mm-hmm.
and that will create understanding.
Yeah, you got to be sharp. Like you got to have your eyes in your head, man. Like you got to look what's right in front of you. What most people do is they look what's in their minds or in the mouth of other people. You notice that? I want to learn about trading. Let me go on Instagram and find a teacher. That's
Hmm.
flawed. I did that, and we all did that. That's why we're all here. But like what I'm trying to do is show a different way, in the industry. It's like run to the market. I want to learn how to trade. Let me go to the trading robot. Let me just learn from the chart. How does it move? Let me ask this person. No, let me ask the charts. I'll just write down the question and I'll just watch. Let the chart talk. It don't speak with words. It just kind of shows it to you. You don't hear with your ears. You kind of just do it with your eyes. With this kind of data, it's your eyes and your brain and your mind. And you want to keep that channel clear. It's like a bridge, and the bridge could be cluttered and you can like let in little tiny bits through, or you could clear the entire way and let whatever, clear the highway and let the highway of information be transparent and open between you and the chart. All right, so I think I just kind of watch raw data. That's Russell in the chat. Exactly. So I think you guys pretty much get what I'm trying to do here. It's an invisible concept. Like I'm trying to install a perspective into your mind again, so that you can read the data feed for what it is, so that you can operate in it as you should. Done. So when you come to this digital marketplace, it's an online store. You see like this pair, right? Euro, USD. That's the same as me going to say the game store. Games. See, this is an actual marketplace. It's a store. You can go in it as a buyer. And this store is the supplier or the seller.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm just teaching you very basic business. This is market theory. This is how all markets work. So put this on the back burner, put it over here. And the game I'm trying to get a game, right? In exchange for USD. That's the exchange rate for this game. This game, for one game, it's going to cost me $50, 50 US dollars. That is called an exchange rate. For one game unit, it's going to cost me 50 US dollar units. So I can acquire this in exchange for this. And that would be the trade. The supplier will give me the game in exchange for $50. That's how you read a quote. Now for Euro USD, let's say on the currency quote, You'd be surprised a lot of people don't know how to read a currency quote, so I gotta go over it. So a currency quote, let's say the price, this is your y-axis, is here. That's the price you see, 1.1395. What this is saying, this price value marker thing, this price axis, the y-axis, is showing me the value of the US dollar. So it's talking about US dollar, $1.13, but it's talking about the value of 1 euro. So if price, wherever price was, you know, whatever, it's here. Now, if current price is at 1.1395, what that's saying is to get 1 euro right now, that's what it's going to cost me in terms of USD. That's the exchange rate. That's the price to exchange. This right here, this is equal to exchange, that symbol. There's a trade happening. Exchange is trade. When you make a trade, an exchange has been completed between two parties. So here, if you hit buy right here, you're buying Euro USD for $1.1395. And if the value swelled up to $1.1495, the market went up 100 pips in your favor. So what you bought for cheap is now worth more, and you sell it at that higher price, 100 pips higher than what you bought it for, or 1 cent more than what you purchased it for. That's right. It's just a penny. A penny is 100 pips. That's what we're dealing with in the markets. So if I bought 113.95, sold it at 114.95, I make 100 pips of profit. Whatever lot size I put with that is how much money I make. But that's the basis of what you're trying to do. In basic business, you're trying to acquire something at a cheap value and let it go at a higher value. And you're trying to buy it from a seller and sell it to a buyer. You come in the game as a buyer, right? If you want to be a buyer, that's what we're talking about, a buyer's mindset. You want to buy things at low value, anticipate the value to rise, and get ready to sell it at a higher price. So you actually become both players when you trade every single time, because on the front end of your trade, you're one of the players, but then on the back end, you're the opposite. If you sold it on the front end, you got to buy it back on the back end. If you bought it on the front end, you got to sell it back on the back end. Do you guys understand that?
Yes.
Yeah.
So whatever you do
Yeah.
to close a buy order, you have to sell. Point blank. That's what happens. To let go of a buy order, to sell it off, or I mean to close it, you have to sell it off. That's just how it works. If you want to get rid of your sell position, or you want to close it or cancel it, that doesn't just, you don't just cancel it. You have to buy back.
Right.
And depending on where you do that transaction, say you bought it, if you sold it back again, but at a lower price than what you bought it for, you see the negative on your account. You actually lose on that transaction. But if you were to sell it on the back end at a higher price than what you got it for, now you're going to make money off of that transaction on the back end. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, perfect. So let me bring it back to the little basics real quick. Let me go back to Uncle Candlestick. So this is an up candle, not because it's blue, but because I said it closed higher. It opened down here and it closed higher. I could tell you that it opened up here and it closed lower. That would make it a down close candle. But no, this is an up candle. It's because it closes higher. So it's the way that it moves that determines what type of function it is. So this is a up close because that's what it did. Closed up. And this part of the candle is where it pretty much finished. Now, let me clear this up real quick before you guys get me. That's not always the case. Because what if the day starts, runs up there, and then stays in here for the majority of the day and just finishes here? That's the same thing. See? That, and then this would be this area. So it actually did this early on and then stayed inside the body throughout the whole day. That could happen, but you guys will, if you don't understand what I'm saying there, you will later. But for the most part, on a very basic candlestick, as I look at it, if this is the open and this is the close, this is where I want to finish or exit my trade. This means that this will be where I want to start. What do I want to do around down here?
Buy.
Buy.
Why would I want to position a buy order in this area?
It's cheap.
Okay, it's cheap.
Uh,
What's another way to say it?
It's just the best position below the open.
What else? Come on, guys. You guys got eyeballs? Look at it. It's near the low, ain't it?
Buy low.
Yeah.
Low, yeah.
You want to buy low, right? Buy low.
Best price.
I mean, cheap. Yep. Best price. Let's say
That's where the buying is happening.
so let's say buying activity. It just makes sense because if I got a buy right here, right? And the market went past this little open line. When it goes past it, it becomes an up candle.
Right.
So actually, when I'm buying, this is actually a down candle.
Yep.
A down daily candle. So I'm actually buying when it's pointing down. And most people, what they teach is when the market looks like this, start buying. But I teach people when the market looks like this, start buying. And what happens is this happens. So you're actually buying where you should, but while it's pointing down. And what you're trying to do is anticipate that move up and catch it. And when it goes up, when everybody catches on and they're trying to get in, that's when you exit. By the
Right.
time everybody catches on and they try to jump in, you're already coming off.
Right. It's kind of like how we were talking about games earlier. And, when you're playing chess, you have to be, 2 or 3 moves ahead, or as many moves ahead as you really can be. So it's kind of the same concept. You're just trying to anticipate before it actually happens, so you can catch the bigger move.
Exactly. So like if this were the daily candle, somehow on like the 15-minute chart, but while keeping in mind the daily time frame, you're trying to get in around the open or the low point of that daily candlestick. And you're trying to anticipate the price run up that creates this body of the day. And you're trying to get out around here. That's the idea of candle building. This is a daily bar. So this is obviously the best position to catch the price run in order to get out. So I would want to buy one element. This is a introduction of a concept here of a high probability element. This is a HPE. This isn't, I don't think, an industry thing or nothing. It's a made up thing, but I made up the title, but it's just saying what it is. This is an element of high probability. If the day were to close higher than where it started, wouldn't it be a high probability entry to get in below the open price?
Right.
So therefore, this is a high probability element. That's why I call it that. Simple as that. I like to teach you guys how I got to these names so you can see it's very basic and it's not like I'm making up a golden zone or some crazy stuff. It's very plain. This is just what it is.
Right.
It's an element of high probability. If I want to be a buyer, one of the elements to consider is the buying below the open price. because and this kind of blends in with market theory, but also with mechanics, because I'm showing you like a little candlestick here, but you want to be understanding the pricing, what's going on. It's the theory. When you buy something for cheap and the value goes up and you sell it high, you're making money. So that's what you're trying to understand with the candlesticks. You can't just trade printed patterns. You're trying to participate in the creation of candlesticks. That's why I don't teach look left, because when I say that, I'm telling you to look at some dead candlesticks. There's no life to them. So I'm not actually teaching you the dynamics of trading. I'm showing you a bunch of finished products and calling it a bunch of stuff. What you want to know is how the market moves in real time, the dynamics of trading activity, how it starts, what it looks like in the beginning, and what you're anticipating for it to look through the process and what you're trying to do at the end of it. You're trying to see the whole thing from start to finish, not just a finished product. That's what look left does. All right, so the idea is you're buying low, selling high. It's a value thing, it's a position thing, and it's a timing thing as well. That we're coming back to mechanics with timing and positioning. Timing has to do with your X. Positioning has to do with Y, your pricing. So when you buy below the open price, you're talking about pricing and positioning, you see? So enough of that. Do you guys understand this high probability element for a buyer? This is for a buyer.
Absolutely.
Sir.
Okay, so
I do understand.
a buyer desires for price to move where?
Up.
Okay.
Why is that important to know?
Because you want to win.
Yeah, you want to be when you're playing the game as a buyer, you want to know where to be.
Yeah, that's the design of an up candle. That's the best place you want to be. You want to get in low
You
and
want
get
to be
out when it's higher.
at or below the open
What's
as
the
a
buyer's
buyer.
what's the buyer's
Buyer.
fear?
Losing.
Buying expensive.
Price
goes
goes going
down.
down.
You see, so like if you just put the buyer hat, you start to think like, man, so if I were a buyer, what do I want? What would I want the outcome to be? What would I not want the outcome to be? In other words, how do I win and how do I lose as a buyer? How does that work? Why is that important to know?
So you know where not to be. I don't want to buy at the high to close part of the candle.
Exactly, because that's the finish line.
Yeah,
Like, why would
it's like,
you?
so then
it-
Right.
that narrows your time of day, like right off the rip.
right off rip, because you're not gonna buy the back end of the day when it's almost done.
Yeah.
You're
That's low
at the
probability.
exactly. You're at the end of the race. So actually,
Yeah.
you just showed me that another high probability element is timing, but we'll get into all that later. Right now, I just want to show you guys open price, the daily open price, the one that the daily candlestick shows you, which is at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. At least for me, every daily
Right.
candlestick. I didn't make it up. I don't know why. I don't really care. That's just what it is. When I go to TradingView and I hit, in fact, look, don't believe me. Just look at this. You guys got these notes? It's gonna
It's part of submission. It just is what it is.
yeah, like because some people, they tell me these other things and I know where they learned it from and it's okay, but I don't really care because I'm just gonna do what's right in front of me. What's right in front of me is so basic. Check this out. When I go to the daily chart as like it literally makes me do on TradingView. When I hit this daily button up here, right? I have these daily candles. This is today's daily candle. When I put a vertical line, see, I can't choose the time. I can only just drop it on top of the candle. When I drop a vertical line on top of the daily candlestick and go back to the hour, you see how it doesn't put it on midnight automatically?
Right.
Even though midnight is the start of a day. Wednesday, July 5th's daily candle actually started over here, Tuesday at 5 p.m. I don't know why. Leave me alone. That's just what's there. Okay?
I don't make the rules. I just play by them.
I just, bro, I'm submissive. Take it up with the creator of the robot. You can't blame this on me. This is what's right here on your screen. So what I just put here is 5 p.m. start, 5 p.m. end. How much time is in there? Somebody who is new, Mikey?
24 hours
24 hours. So what kind of time frame is that?
daily.
Daily time frame, right? I want you to look at something. Where were the best entries so far today?
The bottom.
Below what?
Below open price.
You see that? I can't make that up. If today is going to go higher, any entry in this area is really good. Because if you buy below the open and the day is designed to be an up candle, then that means that it has to close above the daily open price. So that's why it's such a powerful reference point, because it gives you a means to play the game, like to exploit the game. If you understand that the daily time frame is going to close at a higher price than where it starts, then you want to just focus on buying below it. Place your buys below it, because automatically at some point in time, the market has to create the body of that daily candle. So that means it has to send it through the open price and above it. So it has to close it above here. So if you bought below there, you already know you're good. It's only a matter of time. You have to be ready for the time, for body time, for expansion time.
Yeah.
So that's
The
how you
simplicity
buy.
in that.
Go ahead.
The simplicity. I was just gonna say the simplicity in that, and understanding like how much more of an edge you have when you approach the market. Just with that, like open price, buying below the open price, it's the probability. If you really think about it, it's so much more. It's so much higher. Like it's so much higher.
Yeah. But here's the thing. What if you bought below the open price, but the day goes
Mhm.
down?
I mean, yeah, you,
That
you
means
charge it to the market, and you.
there's something different here. It's like, but I thought buying below the open price was a high probability. So it's not just that. You actually have to learn what pulls on the market. You have to actually understand in advance that day is going to close higher for you to do that. That's where the real
Right.
kicker is. It's like, wow, I have to actually, in order for me to buy below the open price, I actually have to understand that it has to have a reason to go higher.
Right, where it's going and why.
Exactly. So that's where the real skill is. You guys have to learn how to read what the market desires and what it goes for. And so that's we'll get into that later. But so far, the theme of this one was market theory, but more so like a buyer's perspective. A very simple element was introduced today: buying below the open price. I've already showed you guys the time frame concept right here, and I'm gonna get more into it with mechanics, and it's gonna be called bar resolution, or otherwise, what you guys call time frame correlation.
Yeah.
We'll get into all of that. But all I want to show you guys the concept of buying below the open price in a daily time frame, and why in market theory, in terms of pricing, that makes sense. And I gave you guys the example of the game store and the currency thing, because that's what's happening here right now for Euro USD. The price was cheap down here. It was like 1.08665. So if you bought there and you sold even right now, as the price is moving higher, you're up 25 pips. So if you were in a standard lot, that's already $250 right there across 4 hours. So see, now I'm using my measurement techniques to show you guys how I'm studying this position to where it's at right now. 26, 27. And right now it's 8:42. So I want you guys to also see the energy in the candlesticks and the time that it is right now. Right now it's money o'clock, by the way. That's why you see the market booming. It's money o'clock. You see, by the way, look, this is so perfect. Wow, look, it came full circle. You see this?
Yeah.
This right now, it's only a matter of time before it makes the daily body of the candle. That's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the low. This was overnight in the European sessions. So right now, do you see how overnight the European sessions went below the open and then went through the open price and ran high. Now it
Mhm.
pulled back. And now for the American sessions, it's back on the open price and now it's running again. And it's trying to be a up close candle. So you seeing right now the open price is working as what's called a price barrier. Most of you guys might think of that as support, but that's actually what's happening right now. The market price today, from what I'm seeing the activity show me, the daily open price is supporting a lot of the market's buying activity right now from the display. Do you guys see why I'm saying that?
Yes, sir.
Why am I saying that?
It's an
Why
agreement.
why would I say industry term that I hate on all the time, like support? This daily open price right now is supporting the market.
I mean, you can see the way price reacts when it gets to the open price of the day.
Exactly. It's just the
So
way
it's
it's
not like
responding.
it's not yeah, your support is just like for lack of a better word, but it is what it is. That's what it's doing.
It's supporting the price. It's supporting.
Yeah.
It's holding. It's even a resistance. It's resistance is both directions. They just call support the bottom part. But right now the daily chart is resisting lower prices. You could see it that way.
So you
You
see
can
it
see
as
it.
it's an agreement to it going higher.
It's just that it does not want to. It's blocking the market from going below that. It's
Right.
showing you that it wants to close higher than where it started. Simple as
There
that.
you go.
Yeah. Summaries. Send me all that. I gotta take care of something, guys. I'll get back to you later. Peace out.
But
Yes, sir.